We are ready for some Saturday night football in LA. This is Gary Klein. I'm Lindsay Theory for the Los Angeles Times. The Rams are the number 3 seed in the NFC. They're going to host the number 6 seed Atlanta Falcons. And Gary, as we wrap up the practice week here in Thousand Oaks, it really just seems like business as usual, just another game for the Rams.
On one level, it certainly is. That's how they're trying to prepare for it. But I think if you've been around here all week, there is a genuine enthusiasm and excitement about getting to play on a playoff stage. So many of these players have waited a long time. The franchise has waited since 2004, and LA fans haven't seen a playoff game in the Coliseum since 1979. So we'll see if it was worth the wait.
And there was a little extra kick in Wade Phillips' step when he went through the media office and said, "It's the playoffs." Anyway, the Rams, only 6 players on this team have ever been in the playoffs, only 6 with playoff experience. And if you ask Andrew Whitworth, this will be his 7th trip, and yet he's yet to win a game, and these Rams have heard about that all week long.
They've kind of downplayed the inexperience angle, as you would expect them to. Again, they respect the Atlanta Falcons. They acknowledge that they were in the Super Bowl last season, but they're ready for their first playoff appearance. I talked to Connor Barwin, who has been in some playoff games, and he says it's different. There's no question. It's a different every play counts kind of mentality, but he thinks that the Rams will do fine.
Sean McVay elected to rest most of his starters last week. That include quarterback Jared Goff, running back Todd Gurley, and 4 or 5 of his starting offensive linemen. Several of those guys this week, including Andrew Whitworth, said he feels refreshed, they feel ready to go. Now we're going to see if that offense still finds its rhythm against the Falcons defense.
I think Sean McVay knew he was leaving himself open to some criticism if in fact the Rams come out flat, but I would not expect them to. I think that week gave those players, guys like Whitworth, guys like Todd Gurley, who's absorbed so many hits during an MVP caliber season, that gave them a week to get reset, and they feel like they're ready to go.
The Rams defense is also going to have its work cut out for it on Saturday. Of course, the Falcons bring in a strong running game, and then there's receiver Julio Jones. And as I've mentioned several times this week, we asked Trumaine Johnson about covering Julio and him being one of the best receivers, and Trumaine said, "Hey, I'm one of the best corners." So this Rams defense, they've stopped a lot of great offenses this season. I think they'll be okay against the Falcons.
They seem like they're prepared. Again, it's an experienced group on offense for the Falcons. Matt Ryan has been through the playoff ringer. He knows what to do. But guys like Trumaine Johnson have talked about the fact that they've considered themselves a playoff caliber defense for the last couple seasons. They just didn't have an offense that could get them there. Now with Wade Phillips here, they've turned it up even a notch, and they feel like they're going to be ready for everything that Atlanta brings at them.
As far as the defense goes, 8 games this season, including 4 of the last 5, they've come up with a takeaway on the first series. And now, Gary, I know this is your favorite part of every preview video. What's your prediction?
You know, typically I would side with the team with experience. I think you cannot discount that enough. But given the way the Rams are playing, given the fact that this is at the Coliseum on a Saturday night where I think there is going to be some real buzz in that stadium, I'm picking the Rams to win a close game.
What do you know? Gary and I agree on something. I'm also picking the Rams. They've had a lack of experience all season as they've crossed all of these new bridges, and so far it hasn't hurt them at all. I think it'll only continue to help them with their youth going into the playoffs. So Rams win, and maybe, just maybe, next weekend we'll be in Minneapolis. In the meantime, we'll get ready to see you Saturday night at the Coliseum.